pressure pushing down on me. Let's be honest here though, we're here to learn a flourish called Under Pressure by Dan&Dave, not here to listen to me sing Under Pressure by Queen. So, let's get into this move, guys. Just as a sort of heads up, if you know how to do a pressure fan and if you know how to do a card spring, it's going to help you out immensely when doing this move. But I'm going to be teaching this move assuming that you don't know how to do either. So we're going to go into the grip, the motion of the hand, the application of pressure. And those are going to be the 3 points that you're going to need to know in order to learn this move. So without further ado, guys, let's get right into it. So let's get into the grip. Now the grip is going to be similar to your thumb fan or your pressure fan. Both have pretty much the same grip, but your thumb's going to be at the back like so. Now the knuckle of the thumb is going to be pretty much pressing on this corner here when you do the move. So that's where the thumb is going to be applying the pressure to the cards. So when you spread out the cards like so, your thumb's applying pressure on that corner, and that's what's going to allow you to have the cards pivot back around into the crotch of the thumb. The front grip looks like so. So what I like to do is I like to have the deck completely vertical and the thumbs up in that position that I mentioned before. Now these two fingers are on the front of the deck, and why you have the deck grip like so, the knuckle will be roughly here, so the fingers do stick out over the edge a little bit. So like I said, this knuckle is pretty much over this pip, and this finger, the middle finger, is pretty much only being covered halfway by the deck. So you see how it's only covering half when I grip? It's not covering the whole middle finger. That just gives me a little bit more bend to the cards when I do the move. So now that you've got the grip of the hand holding the deck, we're going to go over the grip of the overhead hand. Now the overhead hand works like this, where you've got your thumb pretty much in the back middle portion of the deck like so, and then your 3 fingers are over top like this. So your ring finger comes along the long edge of the deck like this, and your middle finger and your index finger are along the short edge. Just another angle for the overhead hand. This is where my ring finger is, this is where my middle finger is, and this is where my index finger is. And then my thumb comes near the middle of the deck, but it's slightly off to this corner here. So this is the motion. You're going to have your hand in the position that I talked about, and then you're going to pivot the cards around the thumb here. So like I said, I pretty much have my thumb to the side. It's not completely like this because that makes it awkward to do under pressure. So I have my thumb applying pressure on the side, and it's mostly the knuckle that promotes the rotation of the cards. So as you're sliding the cards over, you'll notice that they'll slip out from under the thumb a little bit, and that's perfectly fine because when you go and do the actual pressure, it's going to pivot around pretty much the pad of your thumb to be sprung back into your hand. Just that from another angle. You've got your thumb at the back there, these 2 fingers at the front. You're going to pull over, and you should be able to see pretty much a fan starting to form by doing this motion. So now let's talk about the pressure of the move. Once you've got the grip and the motion down, you're going to have to get the pressure of the move down right. And what I mean by that is you're going to have to be pushing over top of your index finger to start the move. So you don't necessarily need to squeeze when you start the move. You'll be squeezing with these 3 fingers later, or at least these 2 fingers and your thumb later. But what you're doing right now is you're going to be pushing down over top of your index finger. Then you're going to do the motion. So the cards start to spread out, and once they spread out a little bit, you're going to start squeezing with your middle finger and your index finger. I like to have the ring finger along the side because it gives me a little bit more control over the cards as I spread them. But the squeezing action happens from the ring finger and the index finger. So to give you another angle, because we like them different angles, we're going to show that you push down by pushing down with your wrist, bending the whole deck over top of the index finger. Then you're going to drag the cards over doing that motion, so moving the wrist and pivoting the cards over. You do that motion while they're bent over top of your index finger. Now they'll pretty much get into like a 45-degree angle, and at that point, that's when you're going to squeeze with your ring finger and your index finger. So you bend over top, you do the motion, and then you squeeze in with your middle finger and your index finger. Now you may be thinking to yourself, I've got the right grip, I'm still doing the motions, and I'm applying pressure, but it's not working out for me. Now, the reason for this being is because it can require a lot of hand strength to get an even under pressure move. So, I recommend definitely bending the deck over top, but don't be applying the pressure to bend the deck over top of your index finger with your fingers. Use your wrist to bend the cards. You're going to be holding the cards with those two fingers anyway, so your middle finger and your index finger are going to be holding the cards anyway, and you can bend the cards over top just using your wrist instead of trying to squeeze in with your fingers too much. And then you can squeeze in with your fingers once you've got a spread happening, which is a little bit easier. The other thing is it's just going to take a lot of practice and to build up the hand strength to do the squeeze properly, because when you're squeezing, it is a lot of pressure that needs to be applied in order to get those cards to move over. One thing that may help you with that is I like to have my ring finger along the side. You can actually have your ring finger along the top as well to apply a little bit of extra pressure. So just another thing in terms of deck care, guys, when you do under pressure, you're bending the cards a lot one way. So in order to sort of undo that bend, I would recommend riffling up the back of the deck a couple times, or even bowing the cards the opposite way, or even doing under pressure the opposite way, just to get the cards to bend back, because if you do under pressure enough times, it does really bend the cards. So if you want your deck to last longer while still doing this move, I would recommend bending the cards back so that you don't have that permanent bend in the cards. Under pressure! Yeah, you thought I was done. But actually, guys, I just wanted to say thank you for watching, and I hope you found this video useful. So once again, guys, thank you for watching. Feel free to comment below. I always value your opinions in making my videos better, and I will catch you later.